Welcome to My Long Island TV. From Manhasset to Montauk, we have traveled our communities to bring you the following events. I'm your host, Waldo Cabrera. My Long Island TV starts now.
You are standing in the lobby of the new Parrish Art Museum, designed by the Swiss architects Herzog and de Meuron. It is 614 feet long, but it's only about 100 feet wide. So it presents quite long in the landscape, but at 32 feet high, it actually sits very low in the landscape, and it's meant to be a very welcoming environment. When you see it from the street, it shouldn't appear to be, a big box or a monolithic structure. It should be welcoming, and I think it beckons people to come in. The Parrish Art Museum was actually founded by Mr. Parrish in 1898 in the village of Southampton. And it was full of plaster casts of classical sculpture and beautiful 15th century Italian paintings. In 1950, we were chartered through the state of New York as a Museum of American Art with a special focus on the celebration of the creative legacy of the East End of Long Island. We outgrew our space on Job's Lane in any number of ways. We needed to move into a building that followed the 21st century professional museum standards for climate control and a loading dock and things like that, which we just couldn't get in the village. Cultural institutions like this in communities like ours are economic engines. We know already that we've had visitors from Korea, Japan, all throughout Europe. So it is an influx of people that are coming into the community. They're staying at hotels, they're eating in restaurants, and they are going to have a cultural impact, as well as an economic one. We broke ground in April of 2010 at a time when the country was in major economic downturn. And even though our architects are Swiss, the people who actually physically built this building are all local. We're extremely proud of the fact that for 2.5 years we kept a fairly significant section of our own community employed. We are now standing in the Liechtenstein Theater, which is essentially a very modern black box theater, meaning that the seats are not fixed, so they can be organized in any way. One of our major donors is Dorothy Liechtenstein, and she is in fact the widow of Roy Liechtenstein. She's been on this board for more than 10 years. She's an incredibly dedicated philanthropist. One of the core missions of the Parrish Art Museum is to celebrate the creative legacy of the East End of Long Island. In the late 1900s, a man by the name of William Merritt Chase started coming out here, and he founded a school of what we call plein air painting out here, meaning painting outdoors. And then people like Jackson Pollock and William de Kooning and Helen Frankenthaler and Robert Motherwell, artist after artist came out from New York, partially because of the light, partially because it was very inexpensive to find a barn to paint in out here. And once people started coming out, other people came. So it grew and developed over time from William Merritt Chase all the way up through the abstract expressionists and to today. This is the gateway to the permanent collection. We call it our double wide because it's the one gallery that breaks the walls between the two wings and the spine. It's a magnificent gallery. The spaces are beautiful, the proportions are great, and it also means that you can hang very, very big works of art in here or bring giant sculptures in like the John Chamberlain that's standing behind me. One of the key design elements of this building is the relationship of the inside to the outside, the relationship of art to nature. And there are two places in the building where you can actually see straight through from one side to the other. And I've had many conversations with people who've walked in and looked out onto the South Meadow and said, I feel like I'm looking at a Sheridan Lord landscape This is one of our largest, most beautiful galleries. It is within the section that will, for the most part, be dedicated to special exhibitions. But right now, for the opening of the museum, we dedicated to this gallery to recent acquisitions, meaning works that have come into the collection within the last 6 months. And as you look around, you're going to see some magnificent works of art. All of them are new to the museum, which means they're new to the community. No one has ever seen these here before because we didn't own them until 6 months ago. This gallery, I think, more than any other gallery, really embodies the beginnings of the history of the East End of Long Island as a center for real creativity in the United States. What's behind me is one of our key signature landscape paintings by William Merritt Chase. It's called Shinnecock Landscape. And in this room are landscape pictures from the late 19th century all the way up to the present. I think that if you really want to get a full picture of what the legacy of American art in this country is and will be, the Parrish Art Museum has to be on your itinerary.